Welcome to How to Build a Budget Worksheet. This is actually a supplement video to our series on how to have peace with your finances. And in this particular video, we're actually going to talk about how to build a budget worksheet from a pre-configured Excel file that we can provide for you if you request it. So let's dig right in. We're going to look at the spreadsheet, which is right here. And when you open the spreadsheet, you'll notice down at the bottom there are several tabs. And the first tab is the instructions. So let's go through these instructions real quick. They're very simple. First of all, you have the fixed cells. These are all grayed out in each of the worksheets. These cells should never be changed. These are the cells that contain the formulas that actually generate a lot of the figures for you. And these cells are actually locked in the spreadsheet. Now, the spreadsheet is not password protected, so you can unlock any of the spreadsheets and change the formulas however you want. The spreadsheet's not copyrighted. You can do whatever you want to make it fit your situation. The second particular thing I want to show you is the data entry cells. These cells are not locked and they are all marked in yellow. Then you have all the data cells. Now, let me go through these real fast and then we'll look at each one. The first one is the Master Budget tab. It's the one that summarizes the entire budget. And as a matter of fact, this particular spreadsheet, this tab, is completely locked down. It's all formulas. The second one is your Income tab. This is where you input all your sources of income, and they will then transfer over to the Master tab. Then you have what we call the Core expenses. These are your monthly operating budget expenses, and we'll look more at those in detail in a minute. Then you have your non-discretionary savings. These are the non-monthly expenses that you have that are non-discretionary. That means you don't have any discretion about whether or not you pay them. You have to pay these. For example, car insurance that may be paid once every 6 months, or say a pest control bill that's paid quarterly or something like that. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. Then you've got discretionary savings. These are the discretionary expenses that are not monthly. For example, Christmas, a vacation, but you want to save for these every month, but you're only going to use them maybe once or twice a year. Then you have what we call our emergency savings. This is the account for unexpected expenses. For instance, taxes. You may want to save some money just in case you owe on your taxes. That's what the emergency savings fund is for. You need to replace the tires on your car. You have an emergency medical bill. That's what this is all about. Now, at the bottom, we talk about how to use each of these management tools. First of all, you establish your budget amounts. And I've mentioned in here that when you're creating your budget the first time, make sure that you create the amount for each budget item at its highest monthly expense. For example, your electric bill. Your electric bills will vary. Your highest one every year may be in the summertime and it's $500. You may have some in the wintertime that are in the $200 range. My recommendation is that you budget $500 a month for your electric bill. What that will do is it will give you a surplus. It'll give you margin to help you whenever it goes over $500. Second, you want to enter your income. And you go in there, you enter your monthly income, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, or once a month. Now, there is a note here about variable income. This is income that is not regular, say your tax return, or you get paid a bonus once a month. These types of things. We use these to fund the savings accounts. We don't use these to live on. We try and live on our regular monthly income, and we use these irregular income amounts to fund savings accounts. And we'll talk more about that when we get into those sheets. Then you enter your core expenses. These are your regular monthly expenses. Then you want to go into the non-discretionary tab and enter those. Then to the discretionary expenses, enter those. And then you want to learn to manage your budget, which is on a regular basis, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever works for you. You want to go in and check to make sure make sure that your budget is working and the amounts are all correct. Now, one very important note, never spend money that is not listed on this budget. If you have an expense that's not listed, you've got to take money from the emergency fund or the discretionary savings to cover it. Never take money from your billing account to cover an expense that's not listed. Now, if it's an expense that's not listed, that's one maybe you just missed, then you want to add it to your budget and adjust your budget. So that's basically the instruction tab, pretty self-explanatory. So let's start going through each of these budget tabs. Here's your master budget tab. Here you'll have your income. This income amount will be transferred from your income tab. You'll list all your sources of income, how much they are, and again, these are monthly income amounts, and then this amount right here will automatically transfer to this cell right here in your master budget. So this would be your monthly income. Then you'll have the four main areas of your expenses: core expenses, non-discretionary savings, discretionary, and emergency. All of these amounts will transfer from these four tabs. Core expenses, right here. This total amount will transfer to this cell. Your non-discretionary, this monthly amount here will transfer to this cell. Discretionary, this amount right here will transfer to this cell, and emergency, the same monthly total will transfer to this cell, which will add it up. It'll give you your total expenses. So you take your income, the master budget sheet will automatically subtract your expenses, and this is your margin. This is how much is left over after all your income and all your expenses are subtracted. This $18.75 would then be put into the emergency savings account so that all your money goes to one of these budgeted categories. Okay? Now let's look at the income. Here's where you'd list your income, your paycheck. In this particular example, we've just thrown a number out there, $3,000. You may DoorDash. You put that in. And this is a monthly amount. You may get paid a bonus once a month. You put that. If you get a car allowance or a cell phone allowance or any other income, you may want to put those right here and add these in. We've just thrown $500 as other income. Maybe you have a child support or you have an alimony payment. And you can, by the way, you can type those names in here and put that over here, but that'll give you your total income, which we've already seen will then transfer to the master budget. Now here are your core expenses. In your core expenses, we've divided these into seven different areas: your home, your auto, your household goods and your food, medical expenses, a personal account. This is spending money, your giving, and debt. Now, what we've done here is we've just put a simple budget together. Rent, $900. Your power bill, $200. Internet, $75. And streaming services, $75. All of these make up your home expenses. These are the expenses that help provide you with your home and all the resources that you use in your actual home. Then you have your auto expenses, a car payment, car insurance, and fuel and maintenance. And over here, you see we've totaled each of the categories. Then you come down here to your household items and your groceries. This is household and food. Household items, this would be things like, and we'll type it in, things like toilet paper, paper towels, let's say cleaning supplies, etc. These are the things, they're not food, but they're household items. Then you have basically your groceries and your out to eat items, which is basically food. Now, when you add these up, here's your total for these two categories. Then what you have is you have your medical, medicine and doctor visits. We've just thrown some random numbers in there. Down here you have two personal accounts. This is spending money. If you're a single person, then you'll have one just for you. If you have a significant other or a spouse, then you would add a second one and have one for them, and that's added up. Your tithe would be put here, other giving here, which would be totaled here, and then debt. If you have credit cards or things you're paying off, then you would put that right here. So you'll see for this example, core expenses added all up are $29.25, and on the master budget, they show up right here. Okay? Then we go to the non-discretionary. We've listed two: an annual car registration and renter's insurance. Now, in our state, car registration, you have to pay a property tax. That's why this one is so high. We put the annual amount, but it breaks it down by a monthly amount, so you know how much each month that you would have to save from your monthly income in order to handle that. Renter's insurance, $175 annually. That's $14.58 a month, and that gives you the monthly amount that you would have to contribute to your non-discretionary savings account. Discretionary: vacation, Christmas, and a miscellaneous category. We put some amounts in here. They're broken down by monthly, and so that's where you get your monthly amount. Then you come to the saving: emergency, a tax fund, an auto repair or replacement fund, an emergency medical account, or other unexpected. They're broken down. These are annual. This is the monthly amount. It's broken down, and here's your monthly contribution. So all of these are put over here. That adds up to your total expense for the month. So this amount, this $34.81.25, will cover all the expenses in all four of these tabs, so that you know you have everything covered and you're prepared, even for those annual car registrations, or that vacation or Christmas, or if you have an unexpected expense, you have to fix something in your home. You'll have that money because you've already prepared. But instead of waiting till it happens and trying to find one large lump sum of money, you're actually now saving monthly to be prepared for all those things. So, in essence, that is the budget worksheet. If you have questions, please send us an email at bill@billcrockett.com, or you can go to our YouTube site and you can message us from there. I hope this has been helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. Please like our YouTube channel and follow us for further videos. God bless you.